one was what we kind of shared earlier, a lot of investment around consumer behavioral analytics as a basis for identifying health challenges that consumers face. The second one, though, I want to go back to this kind of journey challenge, and it is one that we're very focused on. And I'll give you an example of a company that we started to work with that is very, very early stage, so early they don't exist online and their app is not launched. So I'm not even confident I'm supposed to give their name out, but I don't have an NDA that I'm aware of. So
Are there any lawyers in the house?
But this sort of challenge that, going back, one of the things that we sort of see, and particularly among caregivers of individuals who are a spouse who's helping their other spouse manage cancer or parent breast cancer, is this kind of sense of, yes, it's a devastating diagnosis, but it also is one that makes you feel like you have no control. And so this idea of getting control back, and how do you create solutions for individuals that give them control back over that disease, recognizing now they also need to be put on the right therapy and everything else. So the example is this company ChemoWave, who we've been doing some work with. And what was really interesting is it was how they sort of created a solution that was about just helping that individual and that caregiver feel like they got control on a daily basis. And the genesis for the idea was a real simple one. It was a guy whose partner was diagnosed with cancer, and in the course of his treatment, I'll use the cleaned up term, he couldn't poop. And he was going in and he couldn't, and it was making him stressed out and increasing the stress he had. And through the course of this guy kind of building a solution that sort of helped him kind of track what's going on, they walked into the doctor and said, I'm wanting to let you know this is going on. It seems to be correlated with every time he takes this nausea drug. It seems to be causing constipation. And the doctor's like, oh yeah, no, that drug does cause constipation. I can switch you to this other one. We'll see if it's better. Within 24 hours, the guy's fine. He's pooping normal, right? and you say, well, that does that really matter at the end of the day? The answer is yes, right? The answer is yes. And so we are sort of interested in those kinds of solutions that do improve the journey and actually deliver some clinical intelligence, right? If we start to find individuals who are having these issues, how do you then change up front so that the next patient who comes along doesn't have that same sort of terrible experience?
Very well illustrated, don't you think?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
A poop scoop.
Yeah, a poop scoop. There you go. Mark?
I think what I'm most proud of is the work that we've done in what I would call under the general umbrella of palliative care, which is that extra layer of support that is focused on the patient, on their caregiver, their family, to help them navigate when they have a serious illness, and in particular with cancer. And we've approached it in a what we haven't talked about here today is the culture in healthcare that often defeats, because of the just age-old culture, defeats the ability of a patient and their family to try to navigate and get answers, and it sometimes seems so hard. So we started by standing up palliative care teams in multiple hospitals, and we funded them through our foundation. Brought in, used a crack team from University of California, San Francisco. It's really good at this. Trained those teams, and we basically we rolled the dice. We hoped that by starting them up and giving the seed funding and keeping them going for a couple of years, that then the hospitals, which the hospital administrations did not think it was that important. MD Anderson does. I know you have a very robust program, but a lot of hospitals just didn't. It was not even on the radar screen. Once we got it started, the patient and family response was so incredible that they have 100% of the cases have continued. Then we turn to focusing on those who actually practice that. And we've invested very heavily in their training, physicians, and really invested in individual people. Over a 3-year period, we give them a significant amount of money to innovate within their community, their institution, and take it to a whole new level. And then the third is investing some stuff we've done as well as in others who are taking palliative care, that additional layer of support that people need, that navigation, and taking it out into the community. Because frankly, in cancer, for example, where this is really needed, most of the time, the people are working through cancer, they're doing it in their home.
That's right.
And in their workplace.
Right.
It's not in the institution. But there's not much out there in terms of that extra layer outside the institution. And so there's some really interesting entrepreneurial interest to take it out into the community, take it into the home. And that's transformative in a way in this particular area of life. And I feel like if we can change the culture through that kind of transformative, and I feel like we are, I mean, over the last 10 years, it's amazing